Well, I got some seals in town and everything's right except for the rod seal. They were kinking up on me going in the gland, and well, I'll show you over here. The rod's still in the back of my pickup. I took the rod into town so they could measure the rod, and still got the wrong ones. Everything's right but this one, but see, that ain't. Look how much too big that is. That rod seal should fit snug on that rod, and it don't, obviously. And then I thought, well, maybe it'll, once I get it in the gland, maybe it'll snug up. Well, I can't get it in the gland. It's kinking up because it's too damn big. So, I mean, the wiper seal and the O-ring in the back are bringing the gland right. I got the wiper in this one, and the wear ring in this one. And I got the piston seal. They're using a seal kit, like, I don't know what I did with it, the old one. I threw it in here. But these are like the old case backhoes where they have a bunch of rings stacked together. They're cupped. Anyway, well, so the turbo is seized on it, and the manifold, you'll see once I get it off. And if you ever had one of these off, they're kind of a bear to get these things off because of this bracket assembly that they've got over everything. You can't get it hardly off because of all the bracketry everywhere on it. So they're not a whole lot of fun to deal with. And almost everything is like an in-wrench type situation. But hey, you know what? We're not working on a piece of shit Packard. So, gotta keep your head straight. It can always be worse. You could be working on some piece of shit Packard. Pretty bad when you can come work on old greasy dozer that's been sitting around for 30 years that you've got to rebuild from ground zero, and you look forward to working on that more than you do on some piece of shit new truck. Pretty pathetic, huh? Pretty pathetic. Okay, so you get these two out, and then this fill tube is bolted to that. Let's go ahead and get the impact and zip these off. These two 1/2-inch bolts up here. Yep. And this old girl here, as long as you can get parts for it, she'll be running a long time after that piece of shit Packard is in the boneyard and in scrap iron and making razor blades out of it. There's going to come a time, and I think it's rapidly approaching, to where people can't afford to work on garbage like that that's non-reliable, that's poorly designed. They want something that's reliable because, well, no, this country will collapse. It's going to collapse here probably within the next year or two. And it's going to be a whole different game. I always wonder why these guys do certain things. Why would they put a 1/2-inch bolt and like a 7/8 nut on the other side of it? Why would you do something like that? It's like 13/16 or 7/8. It's the nuts larger than the bolt. You gotta love that kind of stuff, huh? And then I gotta get in there and I'm gonna start making a list on these cats. All these D4 cats, I got 3 of them to go through. I'm gonna call Joe with the parts list for the one I tore apart clear back in the summertime that I never have had time to work on. Now I have time to work on them so we can get something done and try to get some of these loose ends tied up that people have been waiting on me forever for. What size is it? Got a 7/8 wrench on one side and a 3/4 inch wrench on the other side. How handy. I'm just kind of curious if the bearings failed in that turbo on this thing, or did with the way the exhaust looks on it, It wouldn't surprise me a bit if water got in it, but I don't see any milk in the oil. So I'm kind of curious about this whole situation with this turbo as to what is the problem with it. Ah. I got a phone ringing. Okay, let me climb up here. This leaking air hose. I guess I better get a hose barb and a couple clamps and fix the damn thing. Let me unplug it. I'm tired of listening to it. Alright, so I got everything on that bracket loose except for that one stupid. I'll show you right here. It's such a wonderful design they got going on here. There's a nut clear back in this corner, and I started taking this nut loose, but the problem is that bracket is angled, so as you're trying to remove it, I'm wondering if that hole, I'm kind of wondering if that hole might be slotted. Oh, that's one of those nuts that you don't put it back on there and you throw it over your shoulder and don't tell anybody about it. What a pain in the ass. I don't know how they expect you to get that off. Now I'm wondering if this bracket, I don't know if this bracket, oh yeah, I got an idea. I'll put you up here. I'll put you up there. That's perfect. Trying to see if that hole might be slotted, which would be really handy if it was. Still ain't really wanting to come loose. Man, it's got to be slotted. Well, you sure would think so, but it still ain't coming loose, so. Trying to figure out how to get that nut off of there, because that piece is angled and the nut's coming up on the stud and it's hitting that angle that they've fabricated into that. Not very good. You're looking at the back of my head, huh? Hey, you know what? The nut's just about ready to come off, though. Just about got her. I got it. Holy shit, that's not very much fun. Still not wanting to come off there. What is holding me up here? Not understanding what's going on here. Well, this thing's a royal pain in the ass, you know? Let me get over here and see if I can figure out what the hell is going on. Let me get... I don't know what the hell the hole up here is. It's on that stud, that's the problem. Yeah, it's what a deal they got going on here. I could have, yeah, that hole's slotted. It is slotted, but it's still kind of. What the hell's going on? Yeah, it's a. real pain in the ass, you know what? Yeah, you gotta like the way these guys do some of these things. It's really makes absolutely no sense. There we go. So she's off that stud, I think. Finally. There we go. Holy shit. That is not even fun. I guess I can kind of maybe leave it there for now. Alright, what a pain in the ass. Okay, so what is holding this the rest of the way on? I think the turbo drain line needs to come loose. I think that's all that's left. And then we can get it out of there. That's got to be all that's left is this drain line right here. I think maybe I'll just take the clamp loose right here. See if I can get a bar and pop the hose out of this nipple, this little hose I got on there. And then I can fix this fuel leak while I'm back here too. Okay, let's see here. Where can I put the old camera at? That might be a decent spot. I guess here's as good a place as any. Well, part of my problem is I'm hitting up here on that pressure line when I try to go up with it. Well, that ain't working out so good either. Figured that'd come out there a little easier than that. Let's see. What is holding this thing on there? You know what? I think every one of these fuel lines is going to have to come off because they've got this bracket assembly going clear across, and it's in front of the manifold. Yep, that's what it is. All the fuel lines got to come out of it. What a pain in the ass. What a stupid setup. I'm sitting here bragging about this thing. Now I'm sitting there cussing it. That's really stupid the way they did that. Really stupid. And that's exactly what's going on too. These brackets are holding everything up. I gotta take every frickin' fuel line off of this thing. Or can you get to these bolts here and take this bracket assembly off? Maybe that's what I need to do. Well, I guess. Let me see. What size are those? 1/2 inch? Glorious times here, glorious time. You guys see those bolts from the backside? Actually, I think those might be 9/16. Let's see if we can get the bracket loose. I kind of didn't really want to take all them fuel lines off. I was trying to avoid that, really. And where'd the 9/16 inch go? Ah! There it is. Let's see if we can get back here and get all these loose. Yeah, they are 1/2 inch. That's what I thought. Damn it, I wanted to get them cylinders together. Get the socket back to the people I borrowed it from, and now who knows when I'm gonna get. I sent him a message and said that they were wrong, those two seals, and okay, let me go check, and that was an hour ago. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's They didn't make this the most convenient thing to work on, that's for damn certain. Okay. Is there a smudge on the screen? I can't really tell. How's that? Is that better? They can need an exhaust manifold, huh? Oh, you stick your finger in there. God, this thing has had some use on it, I'll tell you that. Okay, so the turbo, look at this, even the elbow right here is rotted out. This is like the most important part, I mean, because if you're not getting the exhaust gas to come up through to spin the turbine, you're not going to have any manifold pressure. So did we lose a bearing here, or what is it? It's definitely stuck tighter than a tick turd. Don't know if we lost a bearing or because the impeller's not chewed up. So that's what's really making me wonder, is if it, with the shoddy condition of this stack, I mean, if you got a stack with a flapper on it, it doesn't really do you much good if you got a giant hole right here and the water can run right down the exhaust into the turbo. So I'm wondering about this thing. What size is that 12 point right there? Can we stick something in there maybe? Or do we need to get these bolts loose? Let's pop those loose real quick and see what we got there. Let's put the camera up here. We'll pull the impeller housing off of it. And I got the part number for the exhaust manifold, and I was looking around on the end of T30818, I think is the part number. And Deere's got 30 of them in Milan. $1,300 for that exhaust manifold from Deere. That's ridiculous. So I gotta get to looking at some other places. Maybe somebody has got a good used one somewhere. That would be handy. So this turbo might be completely salvageable because I'm not seeing damage yet. Who knows, the turbine wheel might be completely... The impeller doesn't look bad, but you never know, the turbine wheel might be completely chewed off of it. I know I got one glove. I'm out of gloves. My wife's gone to Arizona. I'm here by myself, so I called her and asked her if she had any more laying around. And she said, I don't think so, so she ordered some more for me. I sure like these. These are made by Gloves Works, and they just hold up. I can wear a pair all day most of the time. Those other, what do they call them? Those really thin ones, they don't last for shit. I'll go through 20 pair of those a day. And this is no big deal. We can clock this wherever we want to go with it when we go back together. I mean, look at that. That turbine wheel, or that impeller, is not chewed up at all. See that? So I'm really wondering. It's kind of a little bit sharp there. If it's just got shit sitting in it because it hasn't been run, or what's going on. You know what? She's freeing up though. I wonder if some of the bitch was just sitting and got a little bit of water down in it or something. Let me get a squirt can with some WD-40 or something in it. We'll pour down. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's feeling better and better all the time. I think it was just been sitting and it probably got a little bit of water down in it and got stuck. I can't really see the turbine now. That's the problem I'm having here. And I guess, let me thinking this through here, I gotta pull. Man, you know that ain't gonna come off of there without that shit breaking on you. You just know that ain't gonna happen. Which isn't too terribly bad of an ordeal, because this manifold's gonna get changed anyway. So I guess worst case scenario, if I have to cut these off, you know they're either gonna break off or something. But let's get some oil. I wonder if I can, you know what I can do to keep myself from, to know whether I'm wasting my time or not. I'll get my bore scope and bend it at an angle, and I'll shove it down this hole and look at this turbine wheel to see if it's any good. Alright guys, well here's the lowdown, what's going on here. We'll make another video after this one here, and we'll start reassembling stuff. So what's going on is the rod seals he got put in the wrong box. He gave me the wrong ones. He has the right ones. I'm going back up there right now to get the correct rod seals. The turbo is 100% completely fine on the bearings. The impeller, the turbine is fine on it. I've ordered the up pipe I found at Allstate Ag Parts, a brand new one, for 175 bucks or something like that. The exhaust manifold, I'm gonna do more looking tonight, and I gotta call a phone number in the morning. Another guy told me to call. Deere wants like $1,400 or something like that. It's like, yeah, it's like $1,380 is what they want for that exhaust manifold, and you got to change that. You can't run that thing with a thing like that. Your turbo won't ever spool up right. You're not getting the right exhaust gas going through it. And so I'll get the seals. I got underneath here, and once we get this thing going again and get it running again, we're gonna have to pull some other plates off. There's a hell of a leak back here on the back. Let's just slide under here and I'll show you real quick, because the owner is going to be watching this video too, I'm certain. You can see the drips back here where it's been running off the counterweights. And see, this is all wet back in here. You shimmy back here, you'll notice. Okay, see that pump right there? See them lines going into it? Look how that thing is completely washed clean. Is the camera picking that up? It's just completely washed clean. So I don't know. That's a hard line there, and that's a hard line. But there's a hose, I think, on one of them. Something's really gone to shit there that needs to be addressed. Other than that, I mean, that's just normal looking stuff to me. But that one there, we got to fix that. That ain't right. So I think, and the only other thing I want to do that I can't really tell on this machine is I'm gonna have to get, once I get it running, is get the thing up off the ground. We can use the front end to put down pressure and jack the front end up, but we'll have to probably get a jack underneath the back end and get each side off the ground. And we need to, you can't tell because it's got some pretty good rock guards on the undercarriage. I need to see and make sure we've got good rollers before we turn it loose to him. So he wants it pretty well gone through before he gets it. So anyways, I'm gonna shed these greasy coveralls and jump in my pickup and head up to town before he closes and get them seals, so I don't have to dick around and wait for him to open up at 8 o'clock in the morning, which absolutely drives me insane, waiting for these guys in town to open up in the mornings. So it feels like I've lost half my damn day by the time I get down here. Alright guys, so I'll keep you updated on this thing.